What is up, guys? Lord Nick here, bringing you another One Piece related video. In this video, guys, we're going over my Rebecca list. So I've made a lot of these videos. I've done a lot of retooling of Rebecca. There's a lot of cards who I fidget around with and play around with, and honestly, there's just a handful of cards that kind of I keep going back to no matter what I do. They just keep coming back into my lists. And some of those cards would be Leo is a one drop because every time I try to cut him, it's just too good of a potential of having Leo Hina early on. Hina is the other one who I've experimented with in the last handful of weeks cutting from the list, and it just really, there isn't a really good way of doing it. Now, the card that I always end up cutting, but then somehow manages to come back every now and then, is Cavendish, and right now, with how Rebecca plays and how the meta is, I think Cavendish is actually an exceptionally useful card. And the biggest reason I see this is just due to the fact that Law is such a prevalent deck. Cavendish guarantees we are just going to pop one of Law's characters on the attack. If we somehow have managed to keep an Orlumbus around, then it could mean that we get rid of two of the characters on attack, and that's just insane value. And so, as you can look here, there's a specific card that is now missing from my list that has been present in pretty much all of my lists since the card came out in OP06, and that is Gravity Blade. And Gravity Blade is a phenomenal, phenomenal card. But the problem I have with Gravity Blade in the current meta of things is that people make too many threats. So taking a turn off where I am just removing two threats isn't good unless I already have a developed board that they are then not interacting with. But if my opponent is also interacting, then Gravity Blade doesn't do a whole lot for me because my leader cannot put pressure on my opponent's life or on my opponent's board. So events become very difficult to run in Rebecca when the meta is about being efficient with Dawn and cheating out a lot of characters. So you have to retool, you have to rebuild, you have to redevise how you got to do it. And thus, I've kind of come down to a build like this. Now, you can notice that there is quite a few 2-ofs in this list. And a big part of that is because I'm trying to diversify and be able to be decent, maybe not great, but decent against every one of the meta decks currently. So, what meta decks am I talking about specifically? Well, Law is arguably the deck that we need to be the most cautious about and be ready for. So, of course, we have the Cavendishes in there because that is specifically very good into that matchup. He's also actually pretty good into something like a Whitebeard or a Red-Purple Luffy because it's another character that can swing at my opponent's life just as his vanilla stat line. And on top of that, he could potentially clear blockers pretty consistently. If I have other characters I want to attack with, I just put one Dawn on him and I start clearing 5k blockers like it's nobody's business. So there's that. He also just fuels your trash, which is great because he says you don't have to choose a character to KO with him. You can just, use his ability. So I do often use just his ability just to put cards in trash so that we're almost always at Kongun availability, or I can always drop a Luffy that turn or the turn after and be ready to go. So what are other characters? What are other cards that so outside of Cavendish, the other 2-ofs are Leo because there's just too many times where having Leo would be super nice for some plays that we can do. On top of that, I missed having Gecko in the list. I've been experimenting with many lists where Gecko is not one of my boss monsters. And inevitably, I just came back to him because it's just too consistently easy a way of developing a decent board threat that can then also help us remove a character. So even though we're not running the Rob Lucci's, for instance, where we can, use that plus a Helmeppo to get rid of a 5-drop, well, we got Hina Leo, which is essentially the same thing. Slight different power overall. They're both a little bit less power-wise, but it doesn't put stuff back from our trash to the bottom of our deck, which actually can be very meaningful when we have Moncheries and Luffy's already in the list. Now, if there were any cards that I might cut from the list, it would then again be the Cavendishes, though they have been very, very useful for dealing with Law and giving us a better fighting chance against him. The card is not necessarily as strong into every other matchup. He's not bad into most matchups, but he's just not as necessary. And cards like Hina being at a 4-of or at a 3-of, so we could have a third Leo, would probably be more beneficial. But for now, I like this list. Let's get into it. Let's play a couple games, guys. Let's play a game or two. See if we can find some opponents. Been struggling finding opponents most of today. But I've been able to practice my lists over the last couple of weeks. We've been testing out about 5 iterations of Rebecca, I would say, is about where we've been. So we've gotten to play a decent amount of Rebecca. I've tried to play about 10 games at least with each of those lists, which has been cool. It's been nice. And so it's just been a nice ability to test all these decks, because right now what I end up running into is a lot of people don't necessarily want to play into a Rebecca, and so they'll dodge it. Okay, we always want to go second, even against this matchup. This hand is pretty good. We'd like some 2Ks. 2Ks are generally our best friend against a Yamato, but so we'll actually start off here. All right, we're taking you, deploying here, ending turn. We need 2Ks and blockers. We don't have any Rebeccas, and we don't have any 2Ks, so we're probably just going to take some damage this turn. Which kind of stinks. This is not ideal. Our hand is, drawing this Luffy really kind of hurts our hand a lot. Yeah, just swing your 6 into me, bud. You get to swing 6 at me. I'm going to take 2. I don't like... Oh, he's not swinging 6. Okay, cool. Perfect. We like that. That's nice. You can go here. Draw card. Play card. Wow, we have seen way too many no counters so far. And turn, yeah. So right now we are in an awkward spot. We have hit so many of our non-counters. Like about a third of our deck has no counters to it. So it's pretty high amount that we'll probably not hit counter. High chance we won't hit counters. But it's still kind of ridiculous to see this many of the same ones, for that matter. Oh, another Momo. Okay, and off the last Momo, let's see what he got, because I didn't pay attention, so I missed what he got off the last Momo. He got a Hiyori, so it got a 2K in hand, gets another Hiyori. Alright, so let's just go 7 at face, leaving 1 Dawn. I don't know why he's leaving the 1 Dawn open. We don't have the counter, so we're just going to take it. Okay, we currently... I personally think, just because we need a blocker, we're going to throw you out there. We're going to get rid of one of each of these. We're not going to deploy him, actually. We're at 8 cards. We need counter. Yeah, we pass. It's fine. We've developed a Sabo blocker. It's okay. It's not ideal, but, Against this deck, we have to have 2 blockers, like, at all time. Hody Jones is just such a massive threat to us. And unfortunately, that means that we just don't get to keep a whole lot of space on board. Okay, you get to stack your life however you want to. Probably going to put a Kikunojo on the life. We don't really have a way of dealing with it other than just letting him gain the life, which is annoying, but also somewhat okay. There's another Kiku. Block. Give you Leo. We'll let him heal for now. Right, like this is going to be fine. Do we have a Bardo and trash we can get back? We do not have a Bardo and trash. Okay. We are going to deploy her though still. We're going to grab the Hina. We'll deploy a here. And then we'll pass. So we have 2 blockers open. I mean, if he has the Hody, it's going to be rough for us here. We're going to just lose our life, which, I mean, it's kind of expected. It's not like the end of the world. trying to think of ways that we can... Yeah, there's the Hody. He probably has a second Hody in hand. This matchup is just overall just a really bad matchup for us if we don't get early 2Ks. That opening hand seemed okay because we just had ways of dealing with it if it was more of the like aggro build, which this one was not. I'm thinking this one is much more of... I can't really tell what this one is, to be honest. So why aren't you Hodying yet? Or are you not sure what characters you want to rest? Like, it's easy. You just rest my 2 blockers, you go face. Or did he miss? Man, that took him a very long time to decide to rest my blockers. Just going 7 with boss. This seems like an awkward choice. And then you're not going to use your Hiyori to try to clear my Rebecca? I'm very confused. Color me confused. So he's at 4. This will cost us 6. We don't have a Rebecca to play off of that, sadly. Well, if we hit a Rebecca off of life... Nope. We can't hit the Brook either. Sad day. Alright, so we do need to deploy the Hina. Minus the Hody. Might as well actually develop a Cavendish here. A second Hody basically secures the game for him. I say basically. He doesn't have another attacker. We're pretty sure this is a Kikinojo. Alright, how many... Let's see. We have 1 Kongan in trash. 1 in trash. So there's a Kongan either in our life or in our deck. We only have 2 attackers this turn. I really don't want to risk Trigger giving him something. It's taking a very long time to debate if he's going to just throw away like 4 2Ks to save a Hiyori. I don't see that happening. Okay, so we're okay not attacking, I think. I think attacking would be a mistake here. Because if he wants to Hody, he has to get rid of the card he stacked on top. Which I'm okay with, because that could mean that he loses whatever trigger he put there. Which is either probably a Onami or a or like I've called it, Kikinojo. I thought for how early on he put it there, I was pretty positive it was going to be a Kikinojo because he'd already swung an Intaken 2 life. But it could be an Onami because he wants to be making sure I don't have a blocker. Right, yeah, you get to rest my Rebecca. And force me to get rid of my Sabo. Oh, no, you would just Hody. Why would you play this if you had Hody? But so I guess he doesn't have the Hody in hand, which is kind of crazy with that many cards in hand. Maybe he thinks it's at the bottom of his life, so what'd you take? Takes top life. That's the card you already stacked. Why are you taking that back? Maybe he wants the Onami? Force me to have to give up my Sabo? I'm not sure. I mean, I would just give him up the Sabo either way, but... we have to just keep going for board clear and trying to develop 2 to 3 blockers if we can. Yeah, so we pop this with this ability. Oh, man, we're so low. We're starting to run low on cards and oh, he's running Denjiro. That's an interesting choice. Wait, what? You going for him? Do we give up the Sabo here? Yeah, I think we do. I think we just let you have a Sabo. Alright. We're at 6 cards. Bardo's in trash. I can't afford to deploy a Luffy right now, sadly. Well, a second blocker doesn't save us from anything here, so we'll just swing a Luffy and clear this. Take a 2K. I know he put a card on top again, which he'd taken a Denjiro back to his hand, which is kind of weird to me. But we just can't afford it. We just can't afford playing out not having a Luffy. There's a Kong gun left in these 11 cards, or in these 2 cards. One of the two. One of the two has my other Kong gun in it, and we hit that and we win. Just how this goes, okay? So you're doing that. What 5 cost are you getting out? The boar. Oh, you're putting out a Denjiro. You get to draw. Okay. Cool. Nice little combo to give you a guy that can't do anything. You're preventing him from being KO'd. Nifty. Pressing my lamp. And then you're gonna do what? Swing 8 at something? I don't want to take life. Hey, looky there. That's 13. $16, so you can't counter. 2, 4, 6, 8. That would be 13. So these would all have to be 2Ks and a 1K, which not ideal, but you know, a thing. Discarding a Zora, so it's a heal life thing? If so, then Luffy just clears this guy. Yep, okay. And I'm super confused. What? Oh, he healed from the Amaru, deployed this. Got it. Restand. Put Gecko back, put a Luffy back, put you back, put Rebecca back, Gongan, 2K, or Lumbus. Doesn't really matter who we put back. Clear. Put him back to life, but he's out of cards. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Oh well, it happens. Probably gonna let us give him a hit. Didn't want to take a hit. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Just gonna stack all on your leader and swing in face. You gonna try to clear my Cavendish? You gonna try to clear Kyros? Like, what is he gonna do here? Yeah, I gotta take it. So here's the play that we have to make this turn. We have to attack twice at life. We're not attacking with Cavendish at life. We're using that to clear characters because we don't want to set this up. And we use card action, clear it. Down to 6 cards. We restand our Luffy. So we find our Kong gun that we put in trash here. First in life, then then you. One of you. Put one of the 2Ks back. All these 2Ks that we can't get back. And a Leo. Restand Luffy. We're not attacking with Luffy though. Deploy a Rebecca. Adding a Bardo. No deploy. Deploying a Sabo over to Orlumbus. Discarding a Luffy and a Kyros. Now we have 3 blockers. End turn. Now he could potentially get through them all. But we've cleared 2 or 3 Ezos. 1, 2, 3 Ezos cleared. So he'd need his last Ezo. And then on top of that, he would need a Hody to down all 3. And then he's got a big attack from Hody, which we should have. Hody will be at 9, so, right? 9, 10. 10 from Hody. So we don't care about her, because we have our Luffy. We know Kongun is within the next handful of cards, because we just put 7 back, so that means 4 deep is Kongun. For sure. For sure there's a Kongun 4 deep. There should be one more within the next 2, though. We have 7 cards. Block. I do that just because we need to be able to do this. I don't think he runs Beji. Or he shouldn't run a Beji. Pitching Momo. Okay, he got another heal off. Or Kongun, go. Where you at, Kongun? Alright, you're first. And then the rest does not really matter at this point in the game. He has no miraculous way of surviving this. It would need to be an L Thor, and then like all 2Ks, and even then that's not enough. So yeah. Woohoo! Hard game. Very difficult game. He did have the Ezo, he just didn't have the Hody. So yeah, that is a way that can happen for us. Now, note, that is just... part of that is due to the fact that he never hit a second Hody. Let's do one more game, so we get another one in there. Apologize if my commentary is not ideal, but in that last one there, we were really just banking on he doesn't have a second Hody. He played his Hody way too early and didn't use it to try to finish me off, because he also didn't attach the extra Dawn to it to confirm the attack. So we ended up with just a situation where we could survive it. All right, cool. Red yellow Sabo. Haven't played this matchup in a minute. It is kind of a grindy, longer one because he likes to heal himself a ton. We open up with a Coliseum and 3K counter available. We'll just play the Coliseum and go. Another opponent that's making us go first. It's very good for them. Really bad for us. Us playing first does put us in the negative if he can get enough attacks going. We already have a Sabo. Deploy. Just kind of fill up Yard a little bit. Cavendish, you know. We already used leader ability, so we pass. Alright, so this next turn, we can Sabo if we really ended up with a bad hand. Like, if we draw another Luffy, we just Sabo. Alright, no block. It's fine. He's not developing a board state. I think we just play a Cavendish and pass. Because we now have a good setup. Because now we can just drop an Orlumbus. If he plays a character, we get to clear it. No block. Double counter out. We're at 5 cards in trash already. 1 solid reanimator target. He's coming in for 6. Which is not enough to put this into your life, so you're going to lose that. But that's fine, I guess. We'll take it. Hey, it gives us another 2k. We take those. So let's deploy our Olympus. Six at your life. Clear. We can't take any. Take a con gun. And we pass. We have no counter in our hand, basically. We have 1 2k. Yep, we have to take that. Nope, nothing. We need to develop a Sabo, because, yeah, here he comes. Back on at Cavendish. It's 9 at Cavendish. Nope, 9 at me. Alright, we resolve it. That's fine. So we'll play a Sabo. We will drop one of the con guns. We will drop the Luffy. 6 at your life. You want to fill the card up? Sure. No target. We'll fill a couple in the yard. That's fine. Do we have no blocker that we want to play? Yeah, we do. We'll play another Bardo. We'll play our Bardo out. We probably should have put Bardo before we did the Sabo, but it's fine. Alright. We have a decent amount of counter in hand now. We are down to 1 life. We have a very good board state, though. We have a con gun. So there, no block. We'll give you a 2k. That's annoying. Here, have a Sabo. Let's do this. Oh, wait, we can't. We have too many cards in hand. Crap. I don't want to deploy her, because I know we're not going to get there, but if I do, yeah, we'll just have to deploy him. Oh, Lord. How many Rebecca's are in trash? 1, 2... 2 Rebecca's in trash. You don't do anything for me right now. You're a crash card. Or Sabo. Activate. Wow, where are our Rebecca's? There's 10 cards left in my trash game, please. Alright, deploy you. He wants it back. Do that. So he could easily kid and killer us to death here. We have 2 blockers. He has too many cards in hand right now. 2k out of that. That's fine. Okay, just a Kiku. You're gonna put Kiku into life? Okay. There, you have Bardo. Okay. So there's our Rebecca. Does get us back a Sabo again. Deploy. We'll grab a Sabo. Deploy a Rebecca. Is it 2K? We're four left. Ugh, okay. We need a Moncherie here. So we can't use your ability. We can't use your ability. Oh, what am I doing? That's just stupid of me. That's just dumb of me. He's a 7. So we do have to use your ability. KO her. Play a Brook. KO. And turn. 2 blockers. We have 2 cards left in deck, so we have to play Loopy this turn, which is annoying, but we have blocker central going on right now. We can get there. It's too many cards in trash. Should have enough counter to be okay here. Even if he drops Big Luffy, yeah, that's fine. I messed up. Hey, let's go. Yeah, based off the build he was going, he just doesn't have a whole lot of counter. Rough one. Very rough one. Easily could have lost that match. But it just came down to that he just runs nothing but the rush guys, basically. And I was noticing that, and so it just meant that, okay, when he used his 2Ks early, that means he doesn't really have them late. And then he runs the Kikos as well, so... Hard-fought match. Probably one of our harder matchups, because they can just heal so consistently, and then our guys come back with Rush. But good game to him, good game set we got to play, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. And until the next one, have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, guys.